Today we're going to be making a woven ribbon card, much like this one I made for our May Arts Week with Fawn. But we're going to be using the Ornate ornament set and making some woven ornaments. We're going to use this nice pinkish red ribbon. So I've cut a card base, standard card base, out of some brown cardstock, and I've cut a top piece that has a 1/4" mat. And then this piece we're going to adhere our ribbon to, and it's cut at 3 3/8 by 4 5/8 so that it's slightly smaller than our top piece. So it'll fit just like that. And then I've cut a piece of ribbon. These are going to be our vertical ribbons. I've left about 1 inch extra on each side. So I'm going to cut 9 pieces will fit across the top. So there's our 9 pieces. Now I'm going to adhere them down, and I've made little marks. This is 3/8 inch ribbon as I go by, and I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of the piece to adhere our ribbons down. And here I'm just going to flip it over and kind of finger crease my ribbons. Now I'm going to cut pieces for the horizontal pieces, and I need 11 of those. So I've cut 11 pieces, and I'm going to flip my ribbons over and try to straighten them out as best as possible. You'll see me straighten out these ribbons here. And the way I do this is get them sort of in their place, and then take a piece of Scotch tape and tape them down to your work surface so that they don't move. I find that this is helpful when weaving the ribbons in. And then we're just going to take our shorter ribbons and start weaving them in. And pull them up to the top nice and tight, and that's where that tape comes in helpful, because you can kind of pull on it a little bit. So you'll see me go through this process, and then every 2 or 3 ribbons or so that I've gone across, I'm going to flip the panel over. You'll see me flip it over, and I'm going to put a little adhesive down behind the ribbons. And this will help me help the ribbons stay in their place. So you just kind of got to work with it and get them to stick down in the right place. So I'm going to fast forward through this process, and you'll see me do a couple ribbons, flip it over, and then futz with them to get them in the right positions and stick them down. So now I've got all my ribbons tacked down on the front where I want them, and now it's time to adhere the tails to the back. So I'm just going to trim off so I don't have so much excess on the back, and put some adhesive down just like before, and then just fold those tails over and attach them down. So here we have our ribbon panel. So now it's time to work on the top panel. And I made a little sample when I was just figuring out what I wanted to do. So this is basically the idea, and we're going to cut out the body of the ornaments and we'll see the ribbons through. So I'm going to take my ornament, stamp it out in some Memento black ink on the front, and then you'll see me use the branches from the set with some Jenny Bolin seed packet, which is the darker green, and stick candy, which is the lighter green, and I'll stamp those out so these ornaments look like they're hanging off of the branches of the tree. So here our front's all stamped out, and we're going to cut out the body of the ornaments. I'm going to use an X-Acto because I've had lots of practice and I'm pretty good with it, but use scissors if you're more comfortable with that. If you do use an X-Acto or you want to try out this method, my tip is to always pull your knife towards the piece that you're going to throw away so that you don't mess up the card base that you want to keep. And I apologize because you're having to look at my fuzzy hair here, but I was trying to get over my card. So now our ornaments are cut out, and it's going to look like this, and we're ready to work on the back. And I'm just going to give it some texture by stamping with some Jenny Bolin brown sugar ink, a wood grain background onto the back panel. So there we have that. And now we're going to adhere down the ribbon panel, and I'm just going to use the glue runner and put some glue on it. This glue runner is pretty sticky. And then I'm just going to line that up and adhere it to my card base. Now before I adhere the front, I'm going to add a crocheted ribbon with some green ribbon woven through it, and I'm just going to adhere that down with the glue runner on the front and then put some adhesive on the back and wrap the ends around. You'll also see me make a bow, which I'll adhere later, and then I'm going to adhere this front panel down to the ribbons with the adhesive runner. And then you'll see me add some glossy accents behind that crocheted ribbon part. Just because it's so bulky, I wanted to make sure that it stayed down very well. So here I am adding some glue, and I'm just going to stick that down, line it up and stick that down. And then I will add some glossy accents behind there to make sure that's adhered down. Now I tried to glue my satin ribbon bow with the glossy accents, and it really just soaked into the ribbon behind it, and so you'll see later on that I had to add some Tombow multi-liquid adhesive to that. Now I'm stamping out the ornament on just a piece of yellow paper, and I really only care about the tops and the stripe that goes across. So, yeah, and I missed one of the tops, so I went back and did that. So I'm going to trim those out, and now I'm going to adhere them down with the liquid adhesive. I like using this glue because it gives you a little wiggle room before it's stuck down completely, so you can line up the pieces with the image underneath. And then I'm going to fix the bow using the same glue because the glossy accents just wasn't working. And then finally I added some silver stickles to the dots on the ornaments just for some finishing touches. And there you have our finished card.